Hey guys, this is Comic Uno, and today I'm doing a review for The Walking Dead season finale, season 3, episode 16, called Welcome to the Tombs. So let's talk about this episode. It is the season finale. I think we are all pumped up for it. I saw on Twitter lists, people are gonna die, like if people are thinking Herschel, Beth, Carol, people are saying all sort of things. Glenn, Maggie, but who actually died? So in this episode, yes, we have the war with the governor and Rick. And, you know, the whole prison crew, our crew, and then Woodbury. The governor goes to attack the prison, and they didn't do a good job, and, you know, Rick's group, they could handle themselves. So the governor goes off, he's a little pissed about this, he's like, oh, I planned all this, and then now the people of Woodbury, kind of the army of Woodbury who wanted to go with the governor, realizing maybe the governor is lying. Maybe Rick and his crew are good people. And it's like, why are we killing these people? Like, what did they do to, like, yes, they attacked us, but, like, they didn't seem like they're attacking us. And they're just attacking the governor and trying to rebel a little, or starting to rebel. So the governor is just going crazy and he just kills everybody. The one person that survives is this girl, who lays under one of the dead bodies. So this girl tells Rick what happened. So now everybody at Woodbury actually trusts Rick. He goes to the Woodbury, and the woman said, you know, Rick and the crew, they're right. The governor did a lot of bad things to them, and they're right. So they got to talking about what actually happened, and now the people at Woodbury actually trust Rick. Now another story that was happening after this is, well, let me state that also the people from Woodbury are now part of the crew. People left. So yeah, that happened. So Tyrese, you know, his wife or sister, I don't know who, exactly, no one in the show, they haven't explained it, but I think it's the sister, but a lot of people think it's the wife. You know, they're alive, that crew is alive, and then of course the Woodbury crew. So they're in the prison right now. Yeah, we're still in the prison. So we also have a story with Angie and Milton. Milton, well, in the beginning of this episode, the governor tells Milton to stab Angia. Now, Milton doesn't have the guts to do this, and he doesn't want to do it. So, Milton tries to kill the governor with this knife, and didn't happen. He dies. The governor kills him. And Angia, she is, of course, cuffed to the chair, and trying to get out. She's kind of fumbling throughout this whole episode, trying to get out. And we don't get to know her fate until towards the end of this episode, and we get to see that Andrea is bitten, and she has some last words to Rick, and Rick says, you know, you're always part of our group, so showing that familyness. And Michonne waits with her for Andrea to actually kill herself, which is kind of weird, because that's what Andrea wanted to do all season 1, just kill herself, and do suicide. But this is kind of suicides, like, this is for my dignity, and for herself to kill herself. So it's a different type of thing, and see how she evolved. But that's what happened in this episode. Now, I had some problems, and I liked this episode at the same time. But I guess I'll say what I liked first. I think Andrea's death was really well done. I actually choked up a little. I gotta admit, I never liked Andrea, but I always wanted to like her. I've said that in past reviews, too. She's a character I've always wanted to like. And, I'm upset that she did die, because I think she had so much potential, and honestly, what they did with her for season 3, it's like, they just kind of started throwing her around and making her do all these things. I felt like she could redeem herself after the, not last episode, but the episode before that with the governor. I felt like she was able to be redeemed, and she had a potential to be a good character, but they killed her off, and obviously things that happened in the comics, which I heard she's a better character, they're not going to happen. And that's changing something with the comics, and which is kind of sad, but because she had so much potential. I gotta say, I choked up, and I'm gonna ask you guys, for Andrea haters, did you get choked up? Do you like, you know, a lot of times when these characters die, you're like, you know, I actually liked her. For me, even when she was dying, she was still fumbling with the wrench, and she was just staring at me. I was like, oh, when are you going to turn a zombie? You know? I think if she did a little quicker, she could have survived. I mean, she really could have. She was in those last moments. She really could have survived. But she just kept fumbling. She was doing the Angia thing that she does. But I don't hate her. I honestly, again, I just saw a lot of potential in her character, and I feel like we've all seen that. The moment after season 2, her surviving that whole entire zombie attack, but then really just digressing in season 3 and becoming really annoying. I just feel bad for that character, honestly. Now, I felt really bad that Milton died also. I thought he was a character with potential, but I liked how he died, and he tried to help Andrea, and he's like, you know, maybe we should have killed the governor when you had the chance. But I like those two in their moment. Now, let's talk about the bad of this episode. For an episode, this was great. Just a regular episode, this was an amazing episode. For season finale, I felt something bigger should happen. A lot of things that I feel like are going to digress for season 4 because they sticked with a lot of things in this episode. First of all, the whole Woodbury going into the prison, I don't see that really working. It's like, how are you going to get every character to have their own personality and now they're part of the group? What does this mean for the group? Who are going to have new personalities? It just seems like there's too many characters, I feel, with this Woodbury group. It was like a select, 5. You know, Tyrese and, Shasha, I think her name is, you know, the sister or wife, I don't know. But those characters, yeah, we know even the girl survived. That could have been really interesting. But all these random characters, I even saw a baby walking in, like, I don't know where that's gonna go. I mean, it's interesting, yeah, cool cliffhanger, I guess, but I don't know where that's gonna go. And then the prison, them still staying there, I mean, it's been 1 season. They were in the farm for 1 season, and we got tired of that. How long are they gonna stay in this prison? And just going for that with season 4, I don't see that being a good thing. I don't want them to stay in prison forever. So I was kind of upset with that in this episode. And then the governor is what really upset me in this episode, was that he's not dead. I mean, I loved how he went crazy in this episode, of course. I love that we're getting to see he is psychotic. He is, and we got to see that in this episode. And finally Woodbury is realizing he's psychotic, so that's kind of a good thing in this episode. But honestly, I think he should have died. Someone should have killed him, and everyone was predicting someone's going to kill the governor. It's like, oh, the governor's going to die, but the problem is, who's going to kill the governor? The governor is not dead, and do we need this villain for the next season? Or has he stayed too long? You know, good things should end. And yes, the governor was a good villain. He was a really good villain, but does he need another season? Don't you think we should get more villains in here? Different characters. That's why I don't really want the governor to stay, and I wish he kind of died in this episode. And I think that could have been better. That's something that really disappointed me. One thing that was cool in this episode was Carl shooting the guy. We get to see a little bit of Rick and Carl now, because Rick is he'll kill anybody, and I think now Rick is realizing, oh, what am I teaching my son? This is still my son. I know the zombie apocalypse going on, but there's still family here, and I need to teach my son the right ways, and he's still a kid. So now I think maybe that's why he brought everyone to Woodbury, to the prison. It's like, oh, well, all those people I killed, let me be nice to these people. But with Carl killing that kid, I think that's, level up for Carl. Him developing his character a little, I think that's good. But it is just like, oh, Carl, what are you turning into? Even Herschel is like, oh, that's wrong. One thing I do love is that Herschel's still around, because I think he is the moral compass, and every single time a moral compass comes up in a show, they die. Look at Dale in the last season. But I'm glad Herschel's around, because I think we need that moral compass in the zombie apocalypse world, and I like Herschel, And I'm glad that a lot of these characters did survive. I mean, I wanted a little bit more of deaths, but I'm glad, Carol, someone that's kind of expendable. I think she could have died. The baby even could have died. Beth, very expendable, but she could have died. I think these characters have so much potential to grow. I think Herschel grown on us already. Beth, I mean, we don't know much about her character. I think she could really grow. Having Maggie and Glenn are still together, still living, because I felt like at that marriage proposal, it's like, oh, well, one of them's gonna die, but I'm glad they're still together and still living, because I do like those two characters a lot. And yeah, so I'm glad that they survived, but I felt like a little bit more should have happened in this episode for a season finale. The ending should have been a little bit more cliffhanger-ish. I heard that it was going to be a little bit more cliffhanger-ish, and it kind of wasn't. Again, I felt like I want season 4 to be different, and I feel like season 4 is just going to be a continuation of season 3, and I don't want that. I want to be defined. Like season 3, season 2, and season 1, they're all defined, and you know what season they are. Season 1 was about starting this whole thing, going to that, I think it was like a chemical type of plant. And then season 2 was about the farm. Season 3 was about the prison. But season 4 is still going to be about the prison and governor? How long could that last? I think that's what I'm upset about. I don't know what they're going to do with that, with the season. I think it was a good episode. It was a really good episode. I think Andrea's death was really sad, and I think they did that in a great way. Michonne being accepted into the group even more in this episode. There's a lot of good stuff in this episode, but was it a good season finale, and what does this mean for season 4? But tell me in the comments below what you thought. Do you think this was a good episode? Yes. Did you like Andrea's death? Yes, maybe. Did you think it was a good season finale? Because there are differences of a season finale and a good episode. So tell me in the comments below, are you excited for October when this show goes back on? I'll definitely be reviewing the show back in October. It's going to be a little long that we have to wait. I'm excited still because I think the show always surprises us. And maybe they'll skip some months for the next season. That will wrap up the whole prison thing. Who knows what's going to happen with the next season, what happens with the governor. And I'm still excited for season 4, even though I was a little disappointed with the season finale. But tell me in the comments below, again, what you thought. This is Comic Uno. Again, I will have a review for The Walking Dead when it returns in October, and tell me your thoughts. So don't forget to follow me on Twitter for Comic Uno and the Random Situations, and I'll see you guys later. Bye.